December 1942. General Alfred Jodl sits in his Berlin office, staring at an intelligence report. The numbers can't be real. America is building 60,000 aircraft this year. 60,000. His hands begin to tremble. What he says to his aide will echo through the German high command for the rest of the war. We have awakened a sleeping giant, and he has production facilities. The Eastern Front is bleeding Germany white. Every factory, every rail line, every mine works at maximum capacity just to keep the Wehrmacht supplied. Rationing tightens at home. Women replace men in the factories. Teenagers operate the machinery. This is total war. And then the intelligence reports arrive. The Abwehr, German military intelligence, has always prided itself on accuracy. When Captain Hermann Böhme presents his analysis to the Wehrmacht planning staff, he expects skepticism. What he doesn't expect is silence. 28 seconds of complete silence. These cannot possibly be correct, says General Wilhelm Keitel, but his voice lacks conviction. The sources are solid. British production: 23,600 aircraft annually. Soviet production, despite losing half their industrial capacity: 25,400 aircraft. American production, projected to exceed 47,500 aircraft in 1942 alone. Böhme adds the numbers slowly. Combined Allied aircraft production, approximately 96,500 units this year. Someone asks about German production. 15,400 aircraft, Herr General. The ratio hangs in the air like smoke, 6-1. The Allies are outbuilding the Reich by 6-1. But aircraft are just the beginning. The report continues. Sherman tanks, projected 25,000 units by end of 1942. Liberty ships, one completed every 3 days. Artillery pieces, rifles, ammunition. The figures climb higher with each page. General Friedrich Fromm, chief of Wehrmacht armaments, remembers an American industrial tour he took in 1938. Ford's River Rouge plant. Assembly lines stretching beyond sight. Automation. Standardization. Mass production on a scale German industry never imagined. Detroit alone, he says quietly, has more machine tools than all of Germany. The room goes cold. Field Marshal Wilhelm Keitel tries calculation. If we increase production by... There is no increase that matters, interrupts General Georg Thomas from the Wehrwirtschaftsstab, the War Economy and Armaments Office. America hasn't even fully mobilized yet. These are their initial numbers. Jodl's hands shake again when he reads the automotive projections. America produced 3.5 million civilian vehicles in 1941. If they convert that capacity to military production, he doesn't finish the thought. Colonel Hans Speidel, present at the briefing, will later write, "In that moment I saw defeat not in 1 year or 2, but defeat as mathematical certainty. We were fighting arithmetic. The human mind protects itself. When reality becomes unbearable, it constructs alternatives. Quality over quantity becomes the Wehrmacht's mantra. German tanks are superior. The Tiger, the Panther. These are weapons the Allies cannot match. 1 German tank equals 5 Shermans. 1 Luftwaffe pilot equals 3 Allied pilots. The mathematics of desperation. Major General Adolf Galland, fighter ace and Luftwaffe strategist, understands the delusion. We speak of quality, he tells his fellow pilots over drinks, as if quality matters when you're outnumbered 20-1, as if skill matters when they have fuel and we're rationing our last drops. But hope is addictive. Intelligence officers begin questioning their own reports. Perhaps American production statistics are exaggerated? Propaganda to boost Allied morale? The reports must be wrong. They aren't wrong. Albert Speer, Reich Minister of Armaments, visits a captured B-17 bomber. The aircraft is a revelation. Not elegant. Not precision-engineered in the German tradition. It's designed for mass production. Interchangeable parts. Standardized assemblies. Any factory in America could produce these components. He places his hand on the aluminum skin, feels the rivets, studies the wiring harnesses. This is not an aircraft, he tells his staff. This is a product. They're not building them, they're manufacturing them. The distinction terrifies him. At Rechlin, the Luftwaffe's test center, engineers disassemble American equipment. What they find contradicts everything German engineering stands for. The Americans use cheaper materials, simpler designs, less precision, and somehow, maddeningly, it works. A technician holds up a carburetor from a captured Jeep. Look at this tolerance. Any German factory would reject this as scrap, but it functions perfectly. They can build 10 of these in the time we build one of ours. The implications spread like ice water through the high command. General Franz Halder, chief of the Army General Staff, writes in his diary, "Our engineers design masterpieces. The Americans design products. We are artisans fighting an industrial revolution." But even understanding provides no solution. Germany has neither the resources, the workforce, nor the industrial philosophy to match American production. The Ruhr Valley works 3 shifts. Factories run until machinery breaks down. Forced laborers and concentration camp prisoners supplement the workforce. It's still not enough. It will never be enough. Late 1943, the intelligence reports don't stop. They get worse. American aircraft production, 85,898 units. Soviet tank production, 24,000 units. Liberty ship production, 1 every 42 hours. The Allies aren't just outproducing Germany, they're accelerating. General Heinz Guderian returns from the Eastern Front for a staff meeting. He places photographs on the table. Not intelligence estimates, not projections. Photographs. Soviet tank assembly captured by reconnaissance. Endless rows of T-34s, dozens, hundreds, fresh from the Urals factories. These were taken yesterday, Guderian says. The day before, there were half as many. Tomorrow there will be twice this. Someone suggests the photos are staged. Guderian's laugh is bitter. Stage an entire factory city beyond the Urals? With what? Cardboard tanks? The Western intelligence brings worse news. D-Day is coming. Everyone knows it. But the scale staggers belief. Allied planners expect to land 150,000 men on the first day. They have already produced the landing craft, built the trucks, stockpiled the ammunition. Rommel, commanding the Atlantic Wall defenses, does the calculation. His forces can destroy landing craft, can kill soldiers on the beaches, but the Americans will bring more, and more, and more. How do you stop an avalanche? He asks his staff. No one answers. At Wolfschanze, Hitler's East Prussian headquarters, the Führer rages against the numbers. Their fabrications, Jewish lies, American boasting. The German people are superior. German engineering is superior. Victory is inevitable. But in the corridors, away from Hitler's hearing, officers share what they know. Admiral Karl Donitz, commander of the U-boat fleet, has lost the Battle of the Atlantic. Not through inferior tactics, not through cowardice, through numbers. For every U-boat, the Americans build 20 merchant vessels. For every merchant ship sunk, 2 more arrive. We're drowning in their production, Donitz tells Speer over dinner. Every convoy now has dedicated escort carriers, built in American shipyards in 6 weeks. 6 weeks. We cannot build a U-boat in 6 months. The arithmetic is pitiless. Fighter production tells the same story. Luftwaffe ace Johannes Steinhoff describes a dogfight over Germany. He shoots down 3 American bombers, celebrates with his squadron. The next day, 6 more bombers appear in the same formation slot. They don't care about losses, Steinhoff says. They have infinite reserves. We lose an experienced pilot, we lose years of investment. They lose a pilot, they pull another from the training pipeline. There are always more. Colonel Klaus von Stauffenberg, before his famous assassination attempt, sits in on a production meeting. The numbers break him. We aren't losing the war, he says. We lost it the day we declared war on American industrial capacity. Spring 1945. The war is ending. Everyone knows it except the man in the bunker beneath Berlin. Jodl sits in the same office where he first read the production reports. 3 years have passed. The numbers proved accurate. Conservative even. American production exceeded every projection. The sleeping giant didn't just wake up. He built the largest military-industrial machine in human history. The final accounting is complete. From 1941 to 1945, America produced 297,000 aircraft, 86,000 tanks, 193,000 artillery pieces, 400,000 trucks, 5,200 major naval vessels. Germany's total production across all categories combined doesn't equal America's aircraft production alone. Speer meets with Jodl one last time before the surrender. Neither man speaks for a long moment. Finally, Speer breaks the silence. We understood by 1943. Some of us understood in 1942. But understanding changes nothing when you've already chosen the path. Jodl nods slowly. I knew when I saw those first numbers. The war was over before Stalingrad, before Normandy. It was over the moment American factories converted to wartime production. Why didn't we tell Hitler? Jodl's laugh is hollow. And say what? That mathematics defeats will? That assembly lines trump ideology? He would have shot the messenger. The truth is simpler and more terrible. They fought a war they knew they couldn't win. Not in 1945, not in 1944. They knew in 1942. A Field Marshal Keitel, signing surrender documents at Karlshorst, sees American military equipment filling the streets. Jeeps, trucks, half-tracks, endless columns of vehicles, every unit identical, every part interchangeable. The philosophy of mass production made manifest. An American officer offers him a cigarette. Keitel takes it, hand steady now. Your cigarettes, he says in English. Even your cigarettes are mass-produced. Perfect. All identical. The American doesn't understand the comment. Keitel doesn't explain. In the final days, German officers' tour captured American supply depots, mountains of equipment, warehouses of ammunition, fuel, food, medical supplies, spare parts for every vehicle, every weapon system. The abundance staggers them. A Wehrmacht quartermaster stands before a supply stack that dwarfs anything Germany ever assembled. We rationed, he says to no one in particular. We scraped. We improvised. And they had this, all of this, the entire time. The lesson is carved in steel and aluminum. Wars are won in factories before they're won on battlefields. Industrial capacity matters more than tactical brilliance. Production defeats courage. Germany had brave soldiers, skilled commanders, superior engineering. None of it mattered. You cannot outfight an enemy who can replace every loss faster than you can inflict it. December 1942. Jodl's hands trembled over a production report. What he saw in those numbers, what they all saw, was the future. Not a battle, not a campaign, but the inevitable conclusion of mathematics. They fought anyway, because orders are orders. Because retreat is unthinkable, because hope, however irrational, is the last thing humans abandon. But in those silent moments, in offices late at night when no one else was watching, they knew. The numbers never lied.